Let me ask you something. Have you ever flipped on the kitchen light late at night and seen something move where it absolutely shouldn't be? Yeah, that little jolt in your chest? You're not imagining it. Maybe it was a roach darting behind the toaster. Or maybe you woke up with itchy bites and thought, no, please don't tell me it's bed bugs. And right away, your mind starts racing. Is my house dirty? Did I do something wrong? How much is this going to cost me? Let me stop you right there, because this is important. Roaches and bed bugs are not a personal failure. They don't care how clean you are, how often you vacuum, or how nice your home is. To them, a house is just a warm hotel with food, water, and hiding places. That's it. And if you're like a lot of folks I talk to, especially homeowners who've spent decades taking pride in their space, there's another worry quietly sitting in the background: chemicals. You don't want harsh sprays in your kitchen. You don't want toxins around your pets. And you definitely don't want something that could affect your health or your grandkids when they visit. That's exactly why you're watching this video. Today, we're going to walk through the top 10 natural home remedies for roaches and bed bugs, ranked from the mildest helpers to the most effective long-term solutions. No hype, no miracle cures, just honest, practical options that real people actually use. Some of these you may already have in your home. Others might surprise you. And the number one remedy? Most people completely overlook it, even though it makes the biggest difference. Now, before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate calm, practical advice that treats you like an adult, not a sales pitch, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about real-life solutions explained clearly. And one more thing, stick around, because I'd love to hear from you in the comments later. Have you ever dealt with roaches or bed bugs before? What worked? And what absolutely didn't? All right, take a breath. You're in the right place. Let's get into it, starting with a few ground rules that will save you time, money, and frustration. Before we start ranking remedies, we need to have a quick, honest conversation, just you and me. When people hear the word natural, they sometimes picture a single magic ingredient that sends bugs packing forever. I wish that were true. But natural remedies work a little differently, and understanding that upfront will save you a lot of frustration. Think of this like managing your health. Eating better doesn't fix everything overnight, but done consistently, it makes a real difference. Natural pest control is the same way. Here's what natural remedies do well. They repel, disrupt, and control roaches and bed bugs. They make your home uncomfortable for them. They reduce numbers, and over time, they can help break the cycle, especially when you're consistent. Here's what they don't usually do. They don't wipe out a heavy infestation in one afternoon. If anyone promises that, be skeptical. Bugs have been surviving for millions of years. They're stubborn little survivors. Now let's talk safety, because this matters, especially in homes with pets, kids, or health concerns. Just because something is natural doesn't mean you can use it carelessly. Boric acid, for example, comes from natural minerals, but it still needs to be handled properly. Essential oils smell wonderful, but used incorrectly, they can bother pets or sensitive skin. We'll talk about safe use every step of the way. Another important point: natural remedies work best as a system, not a one-and-done trick. One spray won't solve a problem if food, water, and hiding spots are still wide open. That's why some of the higher-ranked remedies later in this video aren't products at all, they're habits. Now let me ask you, have you ever tried a home remedy that someone swore by, only to think, well, that didn't do much? You're not alone. And often, it wasn't because the idea was bad. It just wasn't the right tool for the job. One last thing before we start the countdown. If you're dealing with a severe infestation, especially bed bugs throughout the home, natural methods can still help, but you may need professional backup. There's no shame in that. The goal is a safe, livable home. All right. With expectations set and myths out of the way, let's get into the rankings, starting with the gentlest, easiest remedies that many people already have on hand. We're starting with the lighter, low-risk remedies. These aren't knockout punches, but they do help tip the scales in your favor, especially if you're catching the problem early. 10. Bay leaves. Yes, the ones in your pantry. This one surprises a lot of people. Roaches hate the smell of bay leaves. To them, it's like walking into a room filled with nails on a chalkboard. Simply crush a few dried bay leaves and place them behind appliances, inside cabinets, and near entry points. Now, will this kill roaches? No, but it discourages them. And for a lot of folks, that's enough to reduce sightings. Have you ever used bay leaves this way before? If so, I'd love to hear how it worked for you. Number 9. Essential oils: peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree. Essential oils don't just smell nice, they can act as natural repellents. Peppermint oil, in particular, is very unpleasant for roaches and bed bugs. Mix about 10-15 drops with water and a little dish soap in a spray bottle, and lightly spray baseboards, cracks, and corners. 2 quick cautions. First, this is a repellent, not a killer. Second, if you have pets, especially cats, use essential oils sparingly and carefully. Think of this like putting up a no vacancy sign. It won't remove every guest, but it discourages new ones from checking in. Soap and water: simple but effective. Sometimes the simplest solution really is the best. A basic mix of dish soap and water can kill roaches on contact by breaking down their outer coating. If you see one scurrying across the floor, this works surprisingly well. It's not glamorous, it's not fancy, but it's safe, cheap, and useful, especially as a quick response tool. Anyone else keep a spray bottle handy, just in case? Food-grade diatomaceous earth. Now we're getting a little more serious. Food-grade diatomaceous earth is a fine powder made from fossilized algae. To bugs, it's like crawling across broken glass. It damages their exoskeleton and dries them out. Important note: only use food grade and apply it lightly in cracks, under sinks, and behind appliances. You don't want clouds of it in the air. This one works slowly, but it's effective when placed correctly, and it's especially helpful for roaches. Alright, those were the gentle helpers. Next up, we move into stronger everyday solutions that pack more of a punch. Now we're moving into remedies that don't just discourage bugs, they start reducing populations when used correctly. These are the workhorses. Number 6. Baking soda and sugar. Old school, still useful. This is one of those remedies that's been passed around for decades. The idea is simple: sugar attracts roaches, and baking soda disrupts their digestive system once they ingest it. Mix equal parts and place small amounts in shallow lids near problem areas. Is it fast? No. Is it flashy? Definitely not. But when used consistently, especially in quiet corners and under appliances, it can make a dent. Think of this like setting a trap instead of chasing bugs around the house. Number 5. Vinegar. What it does and what it doesn't. Let's clear up a big myth. Vinegar does not kill bed bugs, and it won't eliminate roaches by itself. Anyone who tells you otherwise is overselling it. So why does it make the list? Because vinegar is excellent for cleaning scent trails. Roaches leave chemical signals that guide others straight to food and water, kind of like breadcrumbs. Vinegar wipes those trails away. Use it to clean countertops, floors, and entry points. It doesn't solve the problem alone, but it breaks communication, which matters more than most people realize. Have you ever noticed how bugs seem to keep showing up in the same spot? This is why. 4. Boric acid. Effective but handle with care. Now we need to slow down and talk safety. Boric acid is naturally occurring and extremely effective against roaches. It sticks to their bodies, and when they clean themselves, it disrupts their system. But, and this is important, it must be used carefully. Apply a very light dusting in cracks, behind appliances, and under sinks. Keep it completely out of reach of pets and children. More is not better here. When used properly, this is one of the most effective low-cost tools available. Think of it like medicine. The right dose in the right place. Alright, now things really start getting interesting. Because next, we're stepping into remedies that don't rely on powders or sprays at all. And these are often the turning point for people who've tried everything else. At this point, we're moving away from products and into strategies. And for a lot of homeowners, this is where things finally start to turn around. Number 3. Heat, washing, drying, and steam. Bed bugs' worst enemy. If you're dealing with bed bugs, this one is huge. Bed bugs cannot survive high heat. Washing bedding, clothes, and linens in hot water, and then drying them on high heat for at least 30 minutes, kills all life stages, including eggs. And here's something many people don't realize. Steam works just as well. A handheld steamer can reach into mattress seams, couch crevices, and baseboards where sprays can't. Think of heat like a reset button. Is it work? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Now let me ask you, have you ever washed everything only to worry, what if I missed something? That's normal. This method works best when you're systematic, not rushed. Number 2, sealing and blocking entry points, stopping the invasion. This one doesn't feel exciting, but it's incredibly powerful. Roaches and bedbugs don't appear out of thin air. They come in through cracks, gaps, bags, boxes, and even used furniture. Every tiny opening is an invitation. Use caulk to seal cracks along baseboards and walls. Fix loose outlet covers. Reduce clutter where bugs love to hide. For roaches, sealing food in airtight containers can make a dramatic difference. This is like locking your doors instead of chasing trespassers through the house. Many people skip this step because it feels slow, but once you block access, everything else you're doing starts working better. Take a second and think about your own home. Is there a spot where bugs seem to appear again and again? That's usually an entry point. And now, we're down to the number 1 remedy. Eliminating attractants consistently every day. I know. That doesn't sound exciting, but stay with me because this is where most people finally win. Roaches and bedbugs aren't brave, they're opportunists. They stay where food, water, warmth, and hiding spots come together. Remove even one of those consistently, and their numbers drop. Remove several, and they leave. For roaches, the biggest attractants are food crumbs and grease, especially at night, standing water under sinks, open trash, and pet food. Something as simple as wiping counters before bed and drying the sink can make a real difference. Think of it like closing the kitchen after hours instead of leaving the buffet open. For bedbugs, it's about reducing hiding places and interrupting their routine. Declutter around beds and furniture. Vacuum mattress seams and baseboards regularly. Reduce fabric piles where they hide undisturbed. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Let me tell you something I've seen again and again. People try 3 or 4 remedies at once, but they skip this part. Then they say, nothing worked. But once they change daily habits, suddenly the other remedies start working better. It's like trying to bail water out of a leaking boat without fixing the hole. And here's the encouraging part. Once you build these habits, you often don't need to keep using powders or sprays forever. The problem stops coming back. Now let me ask you, be honest. Is there one small habit in your home that could be adjusted? Something easy you could do differently starting tonight? Because that's where real control begins. Let's take a moment and pull everything together. Because if you've been dealing with roaches or bedbugs, the last thing you need is to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to do everything at once. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Natural solutions work best when they're layered and consistent. No single remedy is magic on its own, but together, they change the environment so bugs simply can't thrive. If I had to narrow it down to the top 3 takeaways, they'd be these. First, start with habits. Nightly cleanup, reducing clutter, drying sinks, sealing food. These are the quiet changes that make the biggest long-term difference. Second, use targeted tools, not random sprays. Diatomaceous earth in the right places. Boric acid carefully applied. Heat and steam where chemicals can't reach. And third, be patient with the process. Bugs don't disappear overnight, but when conditions stop working in their favor, they move on. I also want to say this, because it matters. Dealing with pests doesn't mean you've failed as a homeowner. It means you're human, living in a world where bugs exist. What matters is how calmly and wisely you respond. Now, I'd really love to hear from you. Have you ever tried one of these remedies? Did something work surprisingly well, or not at all? Scroll down and leave a comment. Your experience could help someone else who's feeling frustrated and embarrassed right now. And if this video helped you feel more informed and more in control, please subscribe. This channel is here for practical, respectful advice. No scare tactics, no gimmicks, just real solutions that make life a little easier. Take care of yourself, take care of your home, and remember, you've got this.